Hello everyone, my name is Love Like Mari. You know, in all of my time as a commentator, the actual dramas I've actively been involved in have been, in all honesty, few and far between. Sure, there was the whole, Cordal situation, but that's something else entirely. But today's topic is someone completely different. Someone who's been featured on my channel quite a few times now, but whom I've never made a video about. Until now, that is. I share a lot of my audience with a certain lion man, and so I'm sure a bunch of you are already familiar with the user named Chaoticz. If you don't know who that is, I'll explain in a moment, but before we begin, I'd like to start by saying I'm going to be reading through a document created for Lio Convoy for you guys today in its entirety. I will be showing all of the evidence featured in said doc so that you have a video to reference back to. Additionally, my friend Clay has been working very diligently on a response video that will hopefully be out very soon. When it is out, I will link it in the description along with any other relevant links. I'd also like to make note that while this video may be aggressive in tone, I don't wish for there to be any shame surrounding people who once supported Chaoticz. Chaos is a manipulator, as we will see, and although I am just personally extremely wary of ex-Chaoticz supporters due to the sheer amount of hatred and harassment my friends have experienced at the hands of his rabid fanbase, I don't want to foster any of that negativity or hatred here. Shaming people for supporting Chaoticz can only serve to alienate people further. If you are a fan of Chaoticz who has since stopped supporting them and are wondering how you can make it up to the victims, I personally recommend taking this as an extremely harsh lesson about parasociality and recognizing that not every situation is black and white. A lot of people, including Chaoticz themselves, have attempted to frame this entire drama as Clay bad versus Chaoticz good, when that's not what it is. Clay has done bad things that he deserves to be criticized on, but that does not in any way justify what Chaoticz does in return. It was truly never ever this serious. I had a conversation with Clay personally about this topic, so I will leave what he said on screen for those who want to read it, but all in all, please just use this situation as an example of what being on the internet at a young age can do to someone's mind, and how an audience constantly glazing someone affects how they act. Because if people had been more willing to listen, maybe none of this would have happened. This video and the idea of making a video on Chaoticz as a whole has been extremely anxiety-inducing for me due to the whole rabid fan base thing I mentioned earlier. Chaoticz's Discord server is a cesspool of hatred and malice, a vile place full of toxic degenerates that want nothing more than to see my friends and I burn for the crime of supporting someone who has proven his claims to be true time and time again, both publicly and privately. I'm going to flash on screen just some of the things these people have said about myself and my friends, but this is the kind of hatred a community like Chaoticz fosters. A community of people who hate each other and the rest of the world. A community of people who see people who disagree with them as subhuman and undeserving of basic empathy. Nothing good could have ever come from a community like that, and if you are a Chaoticz supporter and are still in that server, I highly recommend leaving as soon as possible for nothing else but your own mental health. With that being said, let's get on with the Chaoticz document. Disclaimer: this document is provided exclusively for informational and accountability purposes. Under no circumstances is this document to be used to justify, encourage, facilitate, excuse, or coordinate harassment, retaliation, intimidation, threats, vigilantism, or abuse of any kinds towards any individual referenced herein, including any identified or alleged perpetrator. Any form of harassment is expressly forbidden and not encouraged by the writers of this document. This includes, but is not limited to, direct or indirect contact, dogpiling, public shaming, stalking, impersonation, doxing, mass reporting, the sharing or solicitation of private identifying or speculative information, and any such attempt to mobilize others to engage in such conduct. This document will discuss matters that may be triggering to some viewers. These topics include CSEM, questionable age gaps, suggestive and NSFW art, etc. No explicit pictures of real people will be shown. NSFW art that Chaos made will be shown, but heavily censored due to the sensitive nature. Transparency in every facet is the most important thing to us, as the doc writers and the ones presenting this information to the viewer. With said transparency in mind, here is a list of people who worked on this document. Clay Plexer, Chaos' ex-boyfriend, Love Like Mari, creator/editor, Malvia, Chaos' recent ex-boyfriend. The document history appears as Mari being the only one to write this document. However, they only serve to rewrite testimonies to make more sense, with the consent of both Clay and Malvia, and guide the document into a cohesive, comprehensible testimony of Chaoticz's actions. It is important to note that Chaos has created a response video to these claims, but the document writers have found it extremely inadequate, hence this document's existence. It is important to note that Chaoticz's video contains many proven lies that will be discussed in this document, so if the reader chooses to watch it, please keep in mind that Chaos is a chronic liar. With that being said, let us begin with an introduction as to who Chaoticz is. Chaoticz, or Chaos, is a YouTube art commentary creator who focuses largely on dramas based in the art commentary community, with a few animation memes sprinkled in as well. This is shown through his most popular video, a video covering the Cupidite expose document. Chaos is pretty well known for getting involved in or causing dramas, including the Elixir's web drama, causing a drama with Shiester, the Junie/Yume drama, and a lot of dramas with the user Bug Thief/Hero. Chaoticz originally found their fame on a now deleted YouTube channel before moving to their current one in February of 2025, posting their first video in March of 2025. Malvia knew Chaoticz as his former partner from approximately late 2024 to late 2025. During this time, he became aware that Chaoticz had CSEM of their ex-boyfriends and was shown conversations and the images that were shared between them. This event happened around the middle of October 2025. Malvia, 18 at the time, witnessed sexual images on their Discord on their iPhone and was told by Chaoticz, 17 at the time, themselves, that they still had these images. Upon closer inspection of the server, he observed conversations between the two that mostly consisted of cringy couple stuff. However, there were still a lot of conversations with underlying sexual tones. Malvia understood that the individuals in the images he saw were minors at the time of the images being taken. One of the individuals depicted has stated several times that they did not want these images to be kept. Malvia did not go to the police with these images and claims at the time, due to the fact that Malvia and Chaoticz were still together at this time, and Malvia did not want Chaos to get in trouble. Although Malvia was an adult, he had only just recently turned 18 when these images were discovered. He did not have the guidance and advice of an older person to guide him in this scenario, and he now knows what he should do if this ever happens again. Please note that a cyber tip was submitted, but Malvia has not since heard back about it. It is also important to emphasize Chaoticz's private photos were not the only ones present and are not the main focus. The focus is on the CSEM of other minors that Chaoticz chose to keep past their 18th birthday, despite being warned about them by Malvia himself. So there's multiple servers.
I literally talked about this before with you. The servers were at the bottom of my server list, and I don't really look in the bottom servers. It's easy to forget them when you don't always see them.
Chaoticz claims that he forgot about these servers in the following screenshot, also directly stating that the servers were at the bottom of his server list. However, from this screenshot from a stream about the BAM document that Chaoticz made, we can see the server that Chaos and Clay shared on the top of the server list. This is only one of the several private servers, but implies that Chaos would often check this server for reasons unknown. Here is also a screenshot of the invite in question, in which the profile pictures match, proving this is the same server. Moving on to the individual known as BAM. Chaoticz claims that he was under the impression that BAM was 13. However, it is well known that this is not true. Clay has claimed several times that he had informed Chaoticz of BAM's actual age, being 9 years old at the time, but was ignored. Here is proof of Chaoticz confirming that Clay informed him in call. Please also note that Clay was around 15 during this call, so the tone may be off or a little aggressive given the context to the call being a discussion of Chaos lying about him publicly.
BAM situation. You were going down on some 9-year-old PP.
I had no idea. I thought he was like 13.
You had no idea my ass. dude. Nah, I literally told you when I was still I was telling you this kid's literally a child.
Yeah, but, like, you had...
But you have no excuse, dude. Bro, like, his voice, he sounds even younger than 10, dude. Like, come on.
Some people can have high-pitched voices.
Not that high-pitched.
Malvia was made aware of online sexual interactions involving Bam, pictured here, heavily censored for obvious reasons. Disclaimer, Chaos was around 15 years old at the time of this message being sent, 11/6/22. However, this was clearly kept until the modern day, hence why we had access to it in the first place. Don't forget the Bam prom.
What?
Did you not see it? There was art of Bam.
I don't have porn of him. The fuck are you talking about?
Note, Chaoticz has stated in his server that he never had any NSFW art of Bam, which we know is a lie, as shown above. Malvia's knowledge comes from finding the Discord server where both individuals were present on Chaoticz's phone. He is aware of approximately 4 Discord servers connected to the situation, one being a private server primarily used by Chaos only, another shared with Bam, another shared with Clay, and another shared with an ex known as Redoni. All of these servers contained similar sexually explicit material. After concerns were raised, Malvia then began deleting the material. After this event, Chaoticz would go on record blaming Malvia in his recounting of the event on Discord. You'll notice that Chaoticz immediately moves the blame onto Malvia for not deleting all of the illicit images, instead of taking responsibility for owning said illicit images. Instead of focusing and responding to the fact that he owns CSEM, he focuses on other things. Malvia, quote-unquote, breaching his trust, Malvia not deleting the material, and the nudes potentially being spread, which is an example of deflection.
During early 2025, Mal went on my phone while I was sleeping. This was on a separate occasion, not to be confused with me and him deleting stuff together. And he found explicit photos of me in me and Clay's private server, which again I had no idea about. The morning after, he told me about it, and of course I was shocked. He told me he explicitly deleted the photos off of the private server, which I trusted him since he was my boyfriend, so of course I trusted his word. And to explain me and him deleting stuff together, this was on a separate occasion while we were at his house and we looked through and deleted stuff together in me and Clay's private DMs. This is also during early 2025. Now, I've already explained why I forgot about those images, which I don't feel the need to explain all over again for the millionth time. But since Mal told me he deleted everything, and I mean everything, I trusted him and didn't feel the need to look back at the private server for the remainder of the year. And of course, fast forward to now, some random tries joining said private server for some reason and says they saw something and documented it. I didn't believe them at first because I firmly believed Mal deleted everything like he said, but I decided to take a look, and turns out he didn't delete much. Now, I'm not trying to put the blame on Mal, because I know it was really my responsibility to delete the news I had of myself, but I am upset that he lied to me about it and had given me false hope everything was gone. However, I have deleted all the nude photos of myself, and the private server itself is now deleted. I understand how it was weird, but again, I truly thought that it was all gone because my ex told me. Again, not trying to put the full blame on him. Now I literally have someone who has my explicit photos, which I'm way more worried about at this moment. I hope this is easy to understand. Again, I genuinely did not know my nudes were still there, and I really should have checked just in case, instead of just blindly believing my ex deleted everything. I take responsibility for that. But the server itself is now deleted. And just to be clear, no, I did not intentionally keep anything, by the way.
Clay's nudes, though, did you or did you not have those in the server? It is important to note that deleting this material should have never been Malvia's responsibility. To attempt to shirk responsibility of deleting CSEM onto his now ex-boyfriend is not only irresponsible and unreasonable, but also dishonest. Chaoticz was the one who owned CSEM, not Malvia. He shouldn't have owned CSEM, but he also shouldn't have blamed Malvia publicly for not deleting the that he owned. Additionally, Chaoticz claims that Malvia quote-unquote lied about deleting the CSEM without any evidence or explanation. There could have been things Malvia did not see or know about, or Chaos may have stopped him. In any case, Malvia should not have had to be the one to delete the CSEM off of your devices twice, Chaos. Take some responsibility for your own actions and subsequent inactions, and stop blaming Malvia for your own disgusting behavior. In around mid-October 2025, Clay was on call with Malvia, during which Clay was going through some old DMs with Chaos. He discovered an old invite to the server that he and Chaos shared when they were about 12 to 14 years old. Clay decided to use the invite link to see if the server still existed in the modern day. Much to his shock, the invite ended up working, confirming that the server was still up even to this day. Clay was unable to go through the server due to Chaos noticing he joined right away and banning him, also showing Chaos was well aware of the server's existence. In late January of 2026, Clay got into the server again on an alternative account and was able to stay in for a few days. In this server, there was a lot of NSFW art of characters from shows and movies, NSFW art of Chaos's Kumu species and other original characters he had made, NSFW art of Clay's original OC, pictures of Clay and Chaos from when they were around 14 to 12 years old, roleplays Clay and Chaos did when they were around 12 to 14, some NSFW roleplays Chaos did with himself. The screenshots provided were not everything that was discovered in the server. These are just some examples of what was found. An example of a roleplay Chaos did with himself. Mina is a name that Chaos used to go by. For context, Clay would have been 14 at this time and Chaos was 15. Most importantly, it was discovered that in a channel called NSFW, Chaos had child porn stored in this channel. A lot of it was mainly of Chaos themselves, which is still illegal, but there was footage of Clay from when he was about 13 to 14 years old, which included footage of Obviously, this is unable to be shown. However, Chaos has openly admitted that they had CSEM and was defended in their server despite this fact. You are aware of this server, so don't you dare say you forgot. Mal told the server that you had nudes of a male named Radoni, which Mal also said there was nudes of Clay, but of his private parts. If you put Radoni's nudes in that server, you would have been aware Clay's nudes were in there. I've also seen screenshots where you took a picture of Clay's private areas without permission, which is The fact that you are bringing this server into adulthood is disgusting. The fact that the private server was up is disgusting. If you guys had deleted CP eventually, those images were to drop down and a few seconds of scrolling. Also, I never saw you explain why you forgot those images, so if you could explain, thank you. But regardless, it doesn't matter what you forgot, which I doubt. You still owned CP. You only deleted CP when you got caught and when someone called you out for finding it and you called them a creep.
I didn't, it was only my own. When Clay was forcing me to take nudes, he would always tell me, put them in the private server.
I don't know, if it was a private server you shared with him. Oh, NVM.
It was only my nudes. He told me to put them there because he wanted to look at them later while we were still dating.
Proof, please. It's not possession of CP on your end. You didn't even have the pictures and they were of you. You were a victim in this case. Also, isn't Clay like 18 now? I want to respond to this because I feel like it's important. I'm really sorry you're dealing with this. The way this has shifted from concerned into scrutiny feels very unfair. Trauma situations are not always clean or linear, and inconsistencies do not automatically mean dishonesty. What matters most right now is that someone has access to your private images, and that is a serious issue. I do strongly encourage making sure the server is fully deleted and that anything kept for evidence is stored privately and safely. As for everyone else, what just happened crossed from discussion into harassment. Publicly demanding screenshots, dissecting timelines, and putting someone on trial in a public channel is not okay. If there are serious concerns, they should be addressed privately and respectfully, not through public interrogation. That needed to stop. Also, them saying you have CP is bullshit. Even though you were a minor, it was you, not some random kid they are making it sound like. Also, the NSFW is of you, then they should be scared that you were sending it and trying to help you, not fucking saying it's CP. Bro. It doesn't matter that it is of yourself, it's still CP. Brother, do they even hear themselves? What the fuck is CP anymore if pictures of yourself, not someone else, is considered CP? What? I don't understand their logic here, bruh. No censorship on these users because they deserve to be called out for the ridiculous claims they're making. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, quote, self-produced child SPCP refers to the creation of sexual images that minors create of themselves. Under current law, SPCP is covered under the same definitions as child that is produced by third parties. As such, individuals charged with SPCP are governed by the same set of laws as a third-party producer of child meaning they receive the same sentences as third-party producers. Additionally, the distribution of these pictures is also a crime no matter the age. In this case, Chaoticz would be guilty of distribution because he put the material into a Discord server, which is notoriously not secure. An example of this is the most recent data leak. Another example is obviously how Clay was able to get into the server in the first place. According to Rain, whatever that is,
18 U.S.C. Section 2256.
defines CSEM and makes it illegal to produce, distribute, receive, or possess any visual depiction of a minor engaged in explicit conduct. And according to Wolf Law Group, in the images they can either be participating in or simulating sexual activity for the images to count as child porn. Therefore, if a minor takes photos of themselves or even consensually takes photos of sexual partners under the age of 18, they are creating child porn. If they then go on to send those images to other children, they are distributing child as well. Minors involved could face felony charges if they knowingly committed these acts, and when they acted, knew that the images would involve minors under the age of 18 participating in or simulating acts. It is incredibly important that they have a defense against this crime charges in cases like these, for the sentences will not necessarily be light because they are minors. To claim that the images Chaos had taken, whether of themselves or others, to not be CSEM or CP is not only ridiculous but easily disproved. So yes, Chaos was, and very possibly still is, in ownership of real CSEM, both of himself and other exes of his. Anything else of Clay or anyone else was stored in other servers Chaos had that Malvia had discovered earlier. Let it be clear that no CSEM was documented or shown to anyone else, as it is illegal to do so, but everything else was. Eventually, Chaos discovered the ult in the server and banned it. After Chaos banned it, Chaos would then go on to complain about an ult getting into the server in their public Discord server. Please note that Chaos claims to quote-unquote never check the server. However, if this was true, they would have never noticed an alt account had even gotten in there.
Well, this is disgusting. I kept it as an archive, but someone shared the link. Must have been Clay.
Then why did you tell people it was deleted? We would understand if you said it was an archive.
I never said it was deleted. But anyways, I don't know why some people have been trying to get into said server. Like, ain't that just really stalkerish? Server spies are already enough. Plus, I have not talked to this person in a few months. This is extremely weird.
Yeah, you said right here it was deleted. I don't know how anyone forgave him for that or why someone has a platform.
So, yeah, now some random has my nudes.
In these screenshots, Chaos acknowledges and admits to having CSEM of Clay. Chaos also claims that he apologized, which he is not. Not that it actually matters. Chaos, I seen a screenshot of you admitting you took a picture of Clay's junk without permission.
Also, I have already apologized for this.
It doesn't make it right considering Mal confirmed that the picture was kept and he had to delete it.
Yes, I acknowledge that. I'm not saying it was right.
People in the server ended up questioning Chaos about the private server, and Chaos did end up admitting there was CSEM in there as previously seen. Let it be known that Chaoticz's server is advertised as 16+, and was at one point advertised as 13+, with roles being accessed by at least 70 people as of writing this document. Chaoticz talks repeatedly about how he is now paranoid that the alt has his nudes, showing the screenshots of his conversation with the alt. However, he leaves out the fact that the alt itself says that none of the CSEM was saved. Whether he chooses to believe this fact or not doesn't matter. It is shifting the attention to the alt for quote-unquote saving/documenting CSEM, instead of on him, where it should be, for owning said CSEM in the first place. The focus should be exclusively on Chaos for possessing CSEM. Please note that the obfuscated info includes details of the material and is therefore censored due to the nature. These are examples of Chaoticz deflecting. Instead of taking responsibility for the harm he has caused, he directs people's attentions to some other party's potential misgivings, whether they're related, valid, or not, to distract from his own. It is a manipulation tactic he uses often to avoid backlash. Here are more examples of this tactic.
Sorry to confuse y'all, but what he did is still fucked. Like, that shit is still on his device.
You also had CP and kept it. I had to delete them for you.
Why are we talking about me? We're talking about how Clay still has it. I deleted all my shit, but he didn't.
Extremely important editor's note. Chaos has not and has never shown proof of this fact. what the fuck are we even talking about? Anyways, back to the video.
Trust me, I was in the court and they explained to me why what I did was bad. I'm not excusing anything, but I just wanted to be understood where it stemmed from. I was also mandated to seek a professional counselor, so I'm currently doing that and I'm confident in my ability to improve. Sure, police don't care, but the court office and my attorney care. You have the right to be upset with me, but I just want people to take into consideration that I'm disappointed in myself and I'm currently doing my best to work on myself going forward.
A bit ago, Chaos tried to falsely accuse Clay of owning CSEM in the modern day, provided no proof to back up these claims. Chaos has since stopped trying to accuse Clay of owning CSEM. Chaos lies in the following screenshot, saying he deleted it when it was Malvia who deleted it, as we have previously established. Chaos acknowledges that he had CSEM, and when Malvia points out to Chaos that he had CSEM, Chaos doesn't deny it. He gets annoyed with Malvia and questions why they are even talking about him.
I hate that when I brung up Clay still having CP of me, people are immediately rushing to say, but you had stuff too. Like, yeah, it was addressed and everything has been deleted, and honestly, I don't like talking about it because it makes me uncomfy. But please, can we acknowledge that Clay has had this for longer?
Chaos thinks that just because the CSEM he had was deleted, it makes everything okay now, and his audience is going along with it. Having a CSEM to begin with is absolutely disgusting and horrible. The only reason anything was deleted was because he got caught with it. Chaos has been caught twice now with CSEM and needs to be called out for this. Chaoticz continuously downplays his actions to his young, vulnerable audience. He is unable to take active responsibility for his actions, inactions, and crimes. He constantly has to whine about his feelings, his experiences, his mental illnesses, or has to push the responsibility onto other people for not stopping him. He does not deserve his platform because of this, as he will continue to be a danger towards others, especially children, if things don't change. He will also never get better if people continue to allow him to make excuses for his behavior. We have seen and shown the screenshots. We have seen his viewers allowing Chaoticz to continue to spread libelous and slanderous claims, both in real life and online, about Clay. It has been incredibly disheartening to see the amount of shame, bullying, and mean-spirited comments directed towards Clay, Malvia, and anyone related to him, simply for speaking out against Chaoticz and attempting to clear the misinformation that Chaos continues to spread. Malvia and Clay have been mocked repeatedly in Chaos's Discord server. Clay's family, including his underage sibling, has been mocked repeatedly. Chaos and his server have made jokes about Clay sexually assaulting his sibling and his current partner, and nobody bats an eye. This is an extremely dangerous and horrifying precedent to set, especially with Chaos's recent actions of attempting to hire a hitman to get Clay killed. Chaos has openly stated that he has no sympathy for Clay and sees him being hurt as justice for being slightly inappropriate during their communication when they were both in middle school.
Found out about this because the police showed up at my front door asking if I knew where he was, to which I had no idea. Although his dad would eventually find him and drag his ass back home, and apparently he got a beating for it, which I honestly don't have any sympathy for. I know that may sound harsh, but I have no sympathy for rapist abusers like Clay. After this video is uploaded, I will continue not to talk about Clay or Hero, with events and private discussions being an exception. I do not wish to interact with Clay, Hero, Mari, and the other people who support them, and I will not give them any attention. Over the past month or two, I've matured and realized I do not owe these people anything, nor do I have to entertain them or give them attention. If they decide to comment on this video, I will not be engaging in whatever they have to say, and it'll be deleted. Because of the way they treated me, I have no sympathy for them whatsoever. It's hard to sympathize with someone who's treated you so inhumanely, to the point where it almost drove you to offing yourself. And I will be honest, because of this lack of empathy, I do not care if they get attacked or harassed off the internet, because maybe then it would be a wake-up call to not victim blame someone and sympathize with a rapist. It's like the phrase, play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Now, I'm not encouraging anyone to go harass them, but I'm just saying that if it did happen, I would not care and I would not feel bad. I know this is a controversial take, but with the way they act, they need to get off the internet ASAP.
Chaos is a dangerous and unstable person who has caused fear and anxiety to Clay, his family, his partner, and his friends for far too long. Chaos has shown that they are perfectly willing to break the law in an attempt to have Clay murdered, and people excuse him for these actions because he has mental health issues. At this point, I'd like to go a little off script and provide testimony from Chaoticz's victim directly. If you were in attendance at Lio's stream or watched it back, you'll know that Malvia had an extremely hard time talking about what happened and the vile things that Chaoticz did to him. So, in an effort to get his story out there and heard, he went to talk to Lio directly before he was really ready. It was very heartbreaking to listen to, and I feel so sad for him. So please listen with an open mind and heart as he explains what Chaoticz did to him. While on vacation in Maine, Chaoticz and I were sharing a room with a family friend, and I was trying to sleep. I had taken sleep medication, so I was exhausted. Chaoticz and I were sharing a bed, and he started making sexual advances towards me, despite me wanting to sleep. Eventually, I went along with it because I wanted it to stop and make him happy so I could sleep. This has been difficult to talk about for me, and I often get overwhelmed and find myself reliving what happened that night. I may speak about this publicly, but for now I am more comfortable expressing myself through writing while I work on myself emotionally. Thank you for your time. Please send your support and love to Malvia in the comment section below. This has all been extremely difficult to go through and discuss, and he deserves to be supported through this time. Malvia, we are so incredibly proud of you and love you so much. You are eternally deserving of the love and adoration, and I hope this video can bring some much needed peace to you. In conclusion, Chaoticz is a vile hypocrite and a deranged piece of shit. There is no future where I can ever see myself or any of my friends forgiving Chaoticz for the things he's done and said about Clay and subsequently about us. Everyone who is still supporting him needs to have a serious conversation with a therapist to discover why they feel the need to be friends with and support someone like Chaoticz. Once again, this document was not created to incite harassment of any kind, as laid out at the beginning, of how Chaoticz owned CSEM and the decisions he made thereafter. It is unfortunate to see how Chaoticz has turned out to be, as this could have all been avoided if the people in his life had discouraged him and held him accountable for this behavior. But there is nothing to be done now. All we can do is hold him accountable now and insist he remove himself from the ACC and AMC before he harms more people. With that being said, this is the end of the video. I'd like to thank you all for watching and listening in and being very patient with us. It means a lot that people are finally willing to listen to our side after being shunned by Chaos for so long. Chaos deserves to rot in his crimes and his shitty mental health for the rest of his life, and I hope someone actually puts him in jail and he never comes back. He does not deserve your sympathy or your support. Thank you to Bug Thief for this fan art and for drawing the thumbnail for this video. Please check her out. She is so talented. Thank you for watching, and that's gonna be it from me. Much love to you all, and have a good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Oh, and also, happy Pride Month, you fucking